house was dead quiet when I came back, but I knew something was off the second I turned the key. Connor wasn't supposed to be home. He told me this morning he'd left early for a professional development seminar out in San Diego. 3 days. All expenses covered. But when I stepped inside, I saw his shoes by the door, his jacket on the banister, his keys in the bowl, and then him. Snoring loudly on the couch in gym shorts and a college hoodie, half a burrito clutched in one hand. I dropped my purse. "Connor?" He jolted awake, rubbing his eyes. "Sin? What are you doing home?" I had a scheduling mix-up. It's a comp day. I forgot I took a weekend shift 2 weeks ago, so they gave me today off." He scratched his neck, looking everywhere but at me. "Oh, cool. What about the seminar?" "Oh, yeah, it got canceled. Budget cuts or something. So I figured, hey, free day." I paused. "You weren't going to mention that?" He shrugged, already unlocking his phone. "Didn't think it mattered." I walked past him toward the kitchen, trying to hide the knot forming in my stomach. That's when I heard the familiar rustle behind me, my purse being unzipped. "Hey, what are you doing?" "Relax. I just need some cash. Mom's birthday lunch. She's been dropping hints about this tote from that fancy boutique at the mall." He pulled out a $100 bill and tucked it into his back pocket. "Connor, are you serious? I work too, you know." "That's not the point. That's my wallet." "Oh, come on. My money's in there too. Don't be dramatic." I wanted to scream, but all that came out was a sigh. This wasn't the first time, just the latest. Every month there was something. His mother wanted new kitchen tile, or a top-of-the-line blender, or a spa day, or theater tickets. And Connor, ever the dutiful son, always delivered. With our money. No, let me be accurate. With my money. He hadn't worked a full-time job since COVID, and I'd picked up double shifts and overnight nurse assignments just to keep up with rent and our retirement savings. I kept that fund separate. In my name only. Not because I didn't trust him, well, maybe partly, but because it was mine. My protection. My future. "You remember what today is, right?" my husband asked, stretching. "I guess not." "Mom's 60th. That explained the new cologne and the suddenly cheerful mood. She's been so excited. I figured we'd do something big. She deserves it. Something big like... What, exactly? He looked at me like I just asked if the sky was blue. "She gave me life, Sin. The least I can do is give her something meaningful back." I stared at him. "With my money?" He laughed, like I was being cute. "Don't be petty." That evening, Angela hosted a family dinner. She was decked out in jewelry I'd never seen before, and a silk shawl I was pretty sure she couldn't afford. "This was such a surprise," she gushed to Connor. "You always know how to spoil your mother." She turned to me with her trademark smirk. "And Cynthia? Still no babies, huh?" I forced a smile. "Still no." "Well, that's okay. Some women are meant to nurture, others to work." She said it with a little laugh, like it was harmless. Connor didn't say a word. He just sipped his wine. That night I couldn't sleep. Something kept gnawing at me, like an itch I couldn't reach. I kept replaying his words, his face, the way he casually took money out of my wallet like it belonged to him. The next morning, I got a call from our insurance agent. "Hi, Mrs. Sorry, Miss. Cynthia. We're trying to renew your joint health coverage, but Connor's company isn't responding." I frowned. "Why wouldn't they?" "Well, because he's no longer employed there. He hasn't been for over 2 weeks. My blood ran cold. That can't be right." But it was. I called Josh, one of Connor's old co-workers. He hesitated, then sighed. "Cynthia, look, I didn't want to get involved, but Connor got let go. He took money from the office. Not a lot, like $4,000, but still. He was caught moving it into his personal account." I thanked him, hung up, and stood still in our kitchen for a long time. My coffee went cold. My heart was racing. He lied to me. About his job. About where he was going. About everything. I needed air. I opened our bedroom closet to grab my jacket, and that's when I noticed it. The bottom drawer of my file cabinet, the one with the retirement documents, the printed bank statements, the USB drive with my logins, and my backup authentication token, was ajar. It was empty. I dropped to my knees, tore through every folder. Nothing. I opened the bank app on my phone, tried to log in. Denied. Password incorrect. I tried password recovery. The number on file had been changed. Then I clicked into a buried email, an automatic alert I'd missed earlier that morning. A withdrawal of $198,237.65 has been made from your account. I felt the world tilt. When I called him, he answered on the second ring. What? Where is it? Where's what? The money, Connor. My savings. My retirement fund. Oh, that. Yeah, I gave it to Mom. You what? She's 60, Sin. You only turned 60 once. She deserves a real gift. You stole my life savings. I didn't steal anything. It's family money. I earned those bonuses. It's not like you're using it right now. It was in my name. So what? We're married. It's the same. My jaw locked. My hands trembled. And then, quietly, almost mechanically, I opened the locked drawer in the nightstand, pulled out a sealed envelope. Inside was a 2-year-old document, signed by both of us, drafted during a massive fight we once had about his gambling phase. A divorce petition. I never filed it. Until now. The next morning, I didn't wake Connor. I got dressed in silence, packed a duffel bag with my documents, laptop, birth certificate, and a change of clothes, then stepped over the spot where he'd dropped his dirty gym socks the night before. He was still snoring on the couch. I stood by the front door a moment longer than I should have, staring at the life I'd tried to build and realizing it had been hollowed out behind my back. By 8:15 a.m., I was standing in line at City Hall. The envelope in my hands was slightly creased now, but the signatures were still there, Connor's and mine. Dated from 2 years ago, after he drained our joint account to cover a poker debt. He'd said it was a stupid mistake and promised to change. I hadn't thrown the papers out. I told myself it was caution. Maybe it was prophecy. When the clerk called my number, I stepped forward and said the words like I was ordering coffee. I'd like to file for divorce. I have a signed petition ready. She took it from me, flipped through it, and nodded. Everything seems in order. This won't take long. As her stamp hit the paper, I felt something snap free inside me. It wasn't joy. It wasn't sadness either. It was clarity. By that afternoon, I was in a small furnished rental on the other side of town. My friend Emily met me there with 2 large coffees and a binder full of legal forms. She sat on the floor, flipping pages while I clutched my cup like it was the only warm thing in my life. Okay, she said, glancing at the bank screenshots I'd forwarded. So these accounts were under your name only? Yes. My employer deposited directly into that savings account. I never added him as an authorized user. Emily nodded. That helps. Did you report the unauthorized withdrawal? I tried. The bank said since we were married at the time, it's complicated. Not after today, Emily said. If he tries to access it again, it won't be civil court. It'll be criminal. I blinked at her. You think he would? She gave me a long look. If he's desperate, yes. And he sounds desperate. 3 days later, I went back to the house to pick up a few remaining things. Connor wasn't there, but Mrs. Palmer, the elderly neighbor next door, stepped out as I pulled into the driveway. Oh, Cynthia, I was wondering if you were around. I haven't seen you lately. I moved out, I said simply. Oh, she looked uncomfortable. Well, I just wanted to say, Angela and Connor left town a few days ago. She told me they were heading to Lake Tahoe for a little mother-son getaway. She looked so excited. Said it was her dream trip. I nodded, my jaw tightening. Dream trip, huh? Funded by the money I'd worked 12 years to save. I didn't hear from Connor for 5 days. Then the calls started. Blocked numbers, voicemails, emails, texts, messages on Facebook. Even an old photo of us from our honeymoon with a single caption. We were good once, weren't we? I ignored it all. Then came the call from Angela. I picked up on the 5th ring out of morbid curiosity. Her voice was shrill, panicked. Cynthia? Where the hell have you been? Not your business. Something happened. Connor's in trouble. My stomach clenched. What kind of trouble? He tried to take money out of that retirement account again. The one in your name. The bank froze it. The police were called. He's at the precinct right now. I didn't say anything. You set him up, didn't you? She shrieked. You changed the passwords and then vanished. What did you do? I took a breath. I didn't set him up. I protected myself. You tricked him. No, Angela. I divorced him. And unless I missed something, your son isn't entitled to steal money from someone he's no longer married to. There was silence on the other end, and then, you always were selfish. All those years, no children, no family effort, just saving and saving like some paranoid squirrel. And now you're playing the victim? A second later, a man's voice came on the line. "Connor." "You think you're clever?" he growled. "You think you won." "I don't need to win. I just needed to get away from you. You broke this family." "There was nothing left to break, Connor. You already stole everything that mattered." He scoffed. "I gave it to my mother." "You mean my retirement? My future? My safety net? She gave me life. She deserves nothing that belongs to me. You're such a heartless—" "Goodbye, Connor." And I hung up. That night, I sat in the little kitchen of my rental with a frozen pizza in the oven and a cat I didn't adopt sleeping on the porch railing outside. I should have felt broken, but I didn't. I felt sharp, focused. Emily called to say the police were officially opening a fraud investigation. If Connor had forged any documents or impersonated me, there could be charges. She also mentioned that Angela tried to file a complaint of her own, claiming I tricked her son into giving her a fraudulent gift. But she failed, Emily said, because legally they've got nothing. "Good," I said, my voice steady. "Then let's make sure it stays that way." Emily hesitated. "Are you ready to sue for damages?" Yes. I'd lost almost everything. But now, it was time to take something back. The courthouse smelled like cold coffee and copy paper. I sat beside Emily outside the hearing room, legs crossed tightly, my hands clasped so hard they were starting to ache. Across the hallway sat Connor, pale, jittery, wearing a wrinkled button-down shirt and khakis that used to fit him better. His lawyer was speaking too fast, gesturing wildly with a folder of documents neither of them had probably read. Angela wasn't present. Word was, after the police report was filed, she'd backed off completely, distancing herself from the misunderstanding like it had nothing to do with her. According to Emily's investigation, Angela had already drained most of the cash Connor gave her and was now scrambling to refinance her condo. It was poetic. The woman who once bragged about being the queen of real estate networking now couldn't get a loan without a cosigner. And Connor? He was facing civil court for unauthorized access to a private financial account, plus a second count for identity fraud, since he'd impersonated me when trying to recover my online banking login. "Do you want to go over your statement again?" Emily asked gently. I shook my head. "I know what I need to say." She squeezed my arm. "You've already won. This part is just cleanup." The hearing itself was brief. Connor's lawyer tried to spin a narrative about miscommunication, shared resources during marriage, and confusion over legal account status. But the judge was unmoved. The evidence was clear. The account was solely in my name. The money came from my employer and was deposited into a locked personal savings fund. Connor had accessed it without my permission. I was no longer his wife when he tried to take more. The judge ordered Connor to pay restitution for the full amount withdrawn, minus what could be traced and recovered from Angela's accounts. On top of that, he was to pay $50,000 in punitive damages for breach of trust and emotional harm. Emily leaned over and whispered, "That's more than I expected." "I'll take it," I said. As we stood to leave, Connor looked at me. Really looked. His eyes were sunken. His voice was barely above a whisper. "You didn't have to do this." "I didn't want to," I said. "You gave me no choice." He opened his mouth again, maybe to apologize, maybe to plead, but I didn't wait to find out. I turned and walked out of the courtroom. This chapter was over. Life after divorce is a strange, silent thing at first. There's no ceremony, no celebration, just stillness. I took the compensation, along with the remnants of my savings, and bought a small house in a quiet part of town. Nothing extravagant. 2 bedrooms, a sunroom, and a little garden patch I promised myself I'd learn how to use. The first time I walked through it with my new keys in hand, the weight of ownership nearly knocked me over. Mine. No ours. No shared equity. Just me. I painted the front door sage green. I bought second-hand furniture and arranged it exactly the way I liked. I planted lavender outside the bedroom window. For the first time in over a decade, I stopped checking receipts before putting something in the cart. And best of all, I stopped checking for approval. From anyone. A month later, I received a letter in the mail. No return address. The handwriting was sloppy. It was from Connor. "I'm working security shifts now. Mostly parking lots. Sometimes warehouses overnight. I eat a lot of instant noodles. Angela's mad at me, says I ruined her life. I guess I did. I ruined yours too. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't help. Just wanted to say, I miss when you used to talk to me about the little things. I didn't appreciate it. I hope your new life is better. You deserve that. Connor. I folded the letter, slid it back into the envelope, and tucked it into the drawer beside my bed. Not to keep it, but to remind myself of something important. That silence, hard-earned, is better than comfort built on lies. Angela, I heard, eventually sold her condo and moved into a cramped apartment in a retirement complex where no one knew her name. The people she used to show off for stopped returning her calls. She didn't reach out to me again. Good. I didn't need closure from people who never gave me honesty. One Sunday afternoon, I stood barefoot in my kitchen, a breeze coming through the window. I was whisking eggs for a frittata when my phone buzzed. It was Emily. Just a check-in. You good? She asked. I smiled, actually smiled. I think I am. No second thoughts. None. He took everything, and I survived. That counts for something. She paused. You didn't just survive. You took it all back. I set the bowl down, looked out the window at the tree I'd planted last week. It was small and crooked, but it was growing. I was too. Yeah, I said. I did.